So we're seeing how long she holds still before she bites Kira's face off.
Yay, bites mommy's face off.
And runs away.
I gave her graham cracker earlier. She has to love me. Yes, our cat eats graham crackers and cookies and saltine crackers.
Saltine crackers. The cat likes saltine crackers.
Saltine crackers.
If you have something, just doesn't matter what it is, she's up in your face trying to get something.
I love you. She might not be looking at me, but she's purring very loudly.
It's fascinating. I'm sure nobody really gives a crap. Baby, put the cat down.
She's sniffing my feet.
Cat down. Step away from the feline.
I'm sitting. I can't step away.
You could roll away. Chairs have wheels on them.
But there's a dresser behind me. And a door next to me.
All right.
And a you.
So anyway, enough with the cat. Enough with the freaking cat. Right? Anybody?
She flinched. I waved to her and she flinched.
This is not a kitten video.
So's your face.
My face is not a kitten video.
It can be.
You could project the kitten video on my forehead, but... Okay, moving on. Alright, so... Donald Trump complained about 3-hour debate being too long.
Oh, poor baby.
Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton sat before the Benghazi committee for 11 hours straight without breaking a sweat. That is a stress test that has gone out of control.
I thought it was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Granted, I was at work for 9 of those hours, but...
I enjoyed those few seconds where Hillary was deciding whether or not she should be a smartass and just make kind of one of these faces, like... And then you could see, like, she went from stone cold to... I just can't resist this too much, and then just started...
I like when she pulled a this.
Yeah, oh.
Because she's holding her lips from even making a cracking smile. And I love...
And it's funny how you know, it takes the Republicans doing something completely embarrassing and just off the cuff for the Democrats to be forced to laugh about this. And then they finally bring up, oh, but 4 Americans lost their lives. How could you be laughing? Yeah, that's what we were saying to begin with. Anyway.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, in this respect, I consider myself a Democrat. I'm a Christian, compassionate conservative. I vote Democrat.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How come in 2007, you know, when Bush and Cheney deleted thousands of emails and they had that secret server?
Oh.
The secret server, the secret Republican server. How come this didn't happen then?
The whole double standard, just, I don't know, the phrase apparently has completely gone out of the minds of public discourse. It's just, it boggles my mind how much shit Bush got away with. Okay, like, Bush, the reason why I hope Jeb Bush gets the nomination, just, you know...
First of all, so Trump doesn't.
Yeah, just so Trump doesn't, and so, like, we have an actual choice between Hillary and Jeb Bush. And I know the dynastic thing is kind of messed up, but you know what? You trust who you know, so to speak. And these people have been tested and investigated and tried and proven. You know, it's like this whole idea that a politician serving for a long time is a bad thing is bullshit. The more different political contests somebody has to go through, the more everybody knows about them, the less they have to hide, the more people should trust them, okay? Well, back during the Bush administration, you had Georgie Porgy in a bubble, okay? And Dick Cheney was the guy blowing this bubble. And I don't Ted Cruz was popping it. Wait, I don't know where I was going with that, but Ted Cruz was basically the guy in charge of setting up the little public events and the public relations management behind the scenes, all the different fake things that were going on. Him and Karl Rove were the ones who planned all that shit out. Okay, yeah, Ted Cruz of all fucking people, Mister could be a freaking communist. Anyway,
There was another funny thing I wanted to bring up about the Benghazi hearing. What was it? Oh yeah, the lady behind Hillary who kept handing her the notes, and at one point one of the committee members asked her if she was too distracted to answer the questions, and she looked at him like he was a freaking idiot and said, "No, I can handle answering your questions and reading my notes at the same time."
right.
Fuck.
And every time his grandstanding came to a dead end, he was like, "No, no, we can't call for a vote on that right now. Oh, no, no, wait, wait."
It's been seconded.
And it's like,
Oh, we're not taking a vote right now.
this loophole argument that they made about, okay, the Democrats want to release all of these civilian people's transcripts, okay?
So that they can explain their emails in context.
And the reason why he doesn't want to, the Republican guy running the whole thing, what's his fucking name? Is it McGowan?
No, McGowan's our Saints backup
No,
quarterback.
no, yeah, that's the other name I wrote down. I wrote down a name and I remembered it just now. Oh, okay.
Last I checked,
What the hell was this guy's name?
McDouche.
McDouche. McDouche Faceskin?
McTiny McDouche.
Oh, I could have sworn I wrote down that fucking name on here.
McDouche O'Tiny.
Okay. No. Anyways, the guy whose face looks like the heel of a foot. Like his face looks like the back of a heel.
Your heel's not even in the
like,
thing.
I don't know what the hell that callus right there is. But
This
maybe
is
that's
not-
his nose.
Stop
But
showing-
that's what his face looks like, okay? His face looks like a foot. Like the back of it where all the skin folds together. Yeah.
I don't think our subscribers appreciate your feet on camera. Your boats on camera.
Pontoons! Size 14. You know what they say about guys with big noses? They smell very well.
Suppose this is the part where I'm supposed to apologize for my husband. But I'm not going to because I love him.
Okay. So, this whole idea that the Obama administration is secretive, like, it started from this promise that he made to be the most public, open, honest, transparent. Transparent was the word, wasn't it? Transparent agent, White House in history, which actually, technically, they have been, but, and this is a big but. Once you get into the White House, you learn more about the world than you knew was left to learn. Okay? Kind of like some of the shit that you learn on this channel. For those of you who are new to it, please go and backtrack through the videos the way everybody else, or the way many, many people have at this point.
Many people.
And you will learn a lot about geopolitics and strategy and a lot about religion and history that you've basically never heard before. But it's all correlatable facts, all very logical, very easy to understand.
And humor. Lots of humor.
Nah, I don't humor. What?
Chicken butt.
Why?
Chicken thigh.
What do I win?
Your mama.
See, if you call that humor, I don't know if you call that humor.
My coworkers call it crazy.
All right. I got a joke.
Uh
Guy walks into a bar. Ow!
oh.
Two guys walk into a bar. You think the second one would have ducked? Oh, you got any random little drunk jokes? All right. So,
Not appropriate ones that have words that I'm actually allowed to say.
what, like fucking shit and twat and cunt and
A little bit worse than that.
deer?
I know a lot of racist drunk jokes. Oh, what's the one about the Mexican and the Russian and the Irishman sitting around the campfire?
I think I already told that one.
Aww.
See, you can backtrack through those videos until you find that joke, and then you'll know how funny things can be. Okay. Anyways. So, speaking of geostrategy, the thing to understand about Hillary Clinton's testimony is what people like the Council for Foreign Relations were looking for. The people who, behind the scenes, actually give advice to the big corporations who fund these campaigns. Okay, and that's how the influence really happens. What they were looking for is somebody who can safely protect America's secrets. Okay? And this includes our understanding of the tactical habits of Russia, which I have explained extensively on this channel. One of these habits has been very much enculturated into Islamic extremism very purposefully and done historically since 1981. We can trace that back on paper. Okay. Brezhnev memos and a freaking novel Brezhnev wrote, for God's sake. Basically spells it all out. And we got to see this unfold on Vice News in Crimea and Ukraine and Kiev and in Donbass and Lugansk. Okay. What happens is a propaganda piece causes a protest, and a terrorist group or a provocateur group, as they're known in Eastern Europe, will use this protest or this media provocation, this news story, okay, Reichstag fire, okay, to capitalize on a protest and instigate it into violence, and then have a team of people separate, not motivated with the same propaganda in mind, people taking and following orders with an objective. And in the chaos of whatever protest, they go in and they seize their objective, which is how the different town halls and bases and stuff fell in Crimea and Lugansk and Donetsk. Okay. As opposed to what happened in Maidan, which was you had a few kind of haphazard organizational efforts and a few different leaders all kind of vying for control, and just absolute freaking chaos broke out over a very long period of time. Whereas opposed to in East Ukraine, there'd be a news story, there'd be a protest, and then there'd be a group of guys with guns and shit show up and just kind of seize the building. And then suddenly there's communications being intercepted back and forth between them and Moscow and blah, blah, blah. So what do you think happened in Benghazi based on that information, dear? Oh, give me your synopsis. What did we learn on the show tonight, Craig?
Balls.
All right, based on Maidan, based on Donetsk, based on the protests and the little subversive groups, okay, the guys with the Adidas shit, okay, What do you
Russians.
think actually happened in Benghazi that makes Hillary Clinton's statements perfectly accurate consistently?
Well,
Obama's and Clinton's statements have been perfectly accurate and consistent, bearing in mind our knowledge of these tactics.
well, yeah, because they like to, you get the person from the other side all riled up with the people who are peacefully protesting this, that, and another. You get a couple rocks thrown, and bam, war breaks out.
Hmm.
All because one or two people who aren't a part of the big group.
So explain what you think happened in Benghazi.
It was exactly what it was. They were having just a bunch of people outside just listening and what was going on, and you had one or two people, or little Adidas men, come in and cause a big fucking ruckus. It's propaganda. It's all kinds of excuses are
All
coming
right, so
out.
was it a protest or was it a planned attack? Could it be both? Could they be
Yes.
separate?
Yes.
All right, because that's the issue
That's
that
my
people
whole
are
point.
handling.
No, that's my whole point was saying that it's just one or two people going in the midst of a protest. So it was a planned attack. That was few people who did their planned attack in the middle of a protest.
So it was just like Obama's first statement, which was, and this has been taken out of context by Fox News over and over again, that there was a protest instigated by a video, and that people who had nothing to do with the protest came and capitalized on the chaos and did what they wanted to do. And if you've ever observed any of these kinds of events, you can see how the provocateurs, the guys who start the shit, always wind up with some rebellious fucktards or some local criminals that will join in with their destruction. And I know at least very, very firmly in Eastern Europe, and I'm pretty sure in Middle Eastern areas, that it's kind of understood when mafia comes in and does shit, you cooperate and you get something afterwards, okay? And you can see this in East Ukraine because people were literally going up to collect their money and being videotaped over and over again. After they would go talk to a camera, they would go and collect their money for doing it, for spreading propaganda. They would like immediately go to the person standing over there and collect some freaking money. Euromite and PR covered this over and over again. So you can see how in the clerical hierarchy within Islamic extremism, how there might be pretty well understood. You see these guys, these are the guys with the money, these are the guys with the power. They come in and start doing something. You help them out, and then you're at the very least protected, but probably paid. You think?
Oh, yeah.
It just seems like when things kind of have to be, they should be. There's nothing stopping them from being. All the evidence indicates that they are. There's no actual evidence that they are. But all the outside circumstantial evidence indicates that these things have been going on for quite some time. You can pretty much assume that's what's going on. It happens everywhere that we get complete information on. And the only places we don't hear about it happening from are the places we get very incomplete information about. Namely, this Benghazi scenario and Islamic State. Both areas of which happen to be places that Russia has been planning for over 5 years to build a military base. He wanted another one in Syria, and he's been wanting one in Benghazi. So, speaking of Russian military bases, you know that Kuril Island north of Japan, like that little section of Japan that looks like it should be Japan, but it just happens to be belong to Russia since World War II. Yeah, since World War II, Kuril Island have been part of Russia, and they were historically part of Japan. And because of this, there has been no peace treaty signed since World War II happened. Okay, since the Japanese and Russians were fighting, mostly on Chinese territory, um, and in Manchuria, there has been no peace treaty. They're technically still in a state of war, just like North and South Korea. Ooh. Well, Russia is building a military base. There's no recognition internationally of who this place belongs to. Russia claims it, and Japan claims it. Now, after covered this in previous videos, Japan has unshackled its bonds of being able to defend itself. Okay. They can now join in a conflict with an ally. They can now fight terrorism overseas and stuff like that. Whereas before, they could literally only go to war. Japan could only go to war before this constitutional amendment, or whatever you want to call it. They could only go to war if Japan was directly attacked. Well, it's not been but 3 months, maybe 2 months, since this amendment has taken place, and now Russia is building a military base on Japanese territory, basically. Okay, so that's adding to the tension that I'm sure you already have heard about. Things all over the world have been getting pretty intense. And speaking of which, in Syria, as of yesterday morning, I didn't get an update on this today, but as of yesterday morning, there have been 240 people killed by Russian airstrikes. This is not including missing people. This is people whose bodies they've found. 240 people killed by Russian airstrikes, including 127 total civilians, of which 36 were children and 34 were women. But, you know, Kunduz Hospital and Benghazi. That's all anybody wants to talk about. This Black Lives Matter bullshit. Just because Martin Luther King is somebody I greatly admire and respect, I want to point out something. Black Lives Matter is racist. Okay? And Martin Luther King would tell you that. Okay, that's why him and the Black Panthers didn't get along. Because promoting basically racial segregation, which is what you're doing when you're singling out your race as being the one that matters. Like, there's just better ways to do this, period.
All lives matter.
All lives matter, period. Started this hashtag, 5 months ago? All lives matter. Why didn't they just do that? Because it's a provocateur agenda. It's a provocation, okay? They're not here to solve any problems. They're here to cause more division. All right, and I'm sure not most of them know about it. Most of them are well intended. I'm sure of it. Okay, but they're being misguided, and they are a foreign funded. I guarantee it. Okay, I'll bet you, and you'll lose. They are a foreign funded provocation, just like the Tea Party. They're the other side of it. All right, and they got that. Just like the Tea Party used that sense of rebellious patriotism to instigate who they wanted to target, Black Lives Matter has used outright racism to say, here, you gotta say Black Lives Matter or else you're a racist. well, no, all lives matter. And if I want to sit there and say that any life is more important than another, that makes me a racist. Okay. And the fact of the matter is, it's not black people in particular who have a problem with police. Okay. Go to the southwest of this country and you will understand that Mexican, Latino, all different minorities, and people with long hair and facial hair all get tattoos. Okay.
Piercings.
Anybody who doesn't look like JQ clean cut white bread rich person has problems with the police. The difference is whether or not you know how to submit and show respect to authority. Okay? I have long hair and I immediately get dirty looks from police. Okay? But then they see that I am respectful. Okay? They see that I know how to act like I have common sense. And I will wind up shaking their hand 9 times out of 10 and putting a smile on their face, you know? Lately. Go back before 10, 15 years ago, that wasn't quite so much the case. But anyway. So, Benghazi. Yeah, Benghazi. Just wanted to distract everybody. But anyway. So
Oh.
what I found the most interesting about Benghazi was that how many times did they mention that Russia has been planning to build a base in Benghazi? Did they? I didn't hear it one fucking time. Did anybody? If you heard them mention the Russian base that's going to be built in Benghazi during the 11-hour testimony of Hillary Clinton, please comment below.
I thought I heard Hillary say that the Russians were always interested in having a base in
Yeah,
Libya. I thought I heard that. I could be wrong.
it'd be nice.
We talk a lot of politics at work, so I could be full of shit.
Might have just happened to say it while I was busy laughing at something else. But I didn't hear him mention it one damn time. Alright, so basically the whole geostrategic understanding of this thing that redeems Hillary Clinton is that to have to spell out to Footface Boy that the planned attack was capitalized upon by the terrorists. The protest was capitalized upon by those who were planning the attack, and how these things are separate and unrelated, but also at the same time and related. Okay, it depends on who you're talking to. Okay, if you're talking to a foreign head of state, for instance, like in Egypt, you would be saying that these things are completely unrelated because you want to be distinguishing between civilian and military operations. Okay? And this is for damn good reason when dealing with or informing a foreign power. Okay, their military, their diplomatic liaison, one president to another, one secretary of state to a foreign minister. Okay, when you're talking about these things publicly to everyone, you want to make sure that everybody understands the chaos that was erupting. Okay, but when talking to somebody who's probably well aware of that, okay, you're trying to make the distinction of this particular group's involvement and how they were, and that's what she was doing in this new email that's a smoking gun or blah blah blah. She was simply explaining that these provocateurs had nothing to do with the protest. Okay, that this attack actually had nothing to do with the protest. They just used the protest. All right? And that the part about them using it, okay, having to explain that'd be spelling out basic tactical understanding. Okay, that'd be the kind of thing that you want to talk to somebody about in person and then be able to allude to in an email like that later. All right. But that's not the kind of thing you want to go on national television on the public committee, the 11-hour freaking hearing, and sit there and explain how protesters are used by foreign subversive agents. Okay, by foreign subversive agencies. Now, as far as why we don't want to get that out, I'm not too sure on. But I know for a fact that there's been multiple opportunities, multiple different heads of state have been at points in conversations or speeches or explanations where they should have said that, right? They should have explained that, but they refrain from doing so. Okay? Now, the most obvious reason why might be because we simply don't want Russia to know how obvious it is that we're on to them. We don't want public discourse in this country to be on to them. There's a difference between our people behind the scenes being onto them and how public discourse being onto them affects their overall strategic planning. Okay? Say, for instance, they, like, if you're Kremlin strategist, okay, KGB strategist, whatever you want to call him. You're Putin's right hand man or whatever. You're Putin. Say you're Putin. Say you're Dr. Evil. Okay. You think that America probably knows. A few of them know. But what you don't know is how many of them know it. Okay. What you don't know is whether or not the few that know have convinced everybody else to act on that knowledge. So, as Dr. Evil, you don't change your strategy just yet. Okay? You think, it's working. I'm gonna keep going like this. Okay? As opposed to if the media was on to you, if the media was all talking about and trying to spot these provocations and trying to spot these provocateurs, trying to spot these terrorists hiding among protest groups. Okay? If that was the case, Dr. Evil would clearly have to change his strategy. Okay? And when the enemy changes their strategy, guess what? You're a step behind. Right now, we're a step ahead. Okay? And while that puts us at a point of perceived weakness, strategically, we're gathering information. Okay? Whereas just a few years ago, we really had none. 1 second. Dog was eating the cat food. What are you doing?
Still got a whole bunch of freaking dog food in his bowl. Holy crap.
Sometimes the cat goes and eats the dog food. So, they just want to spice up their lives. So yeah. Benghazi.
China!
China! Alright. So yeah, that's during her testimony. All these things that could be seen as half-truths are going to be seen by generals and CIA strategists and CFR members and people that really matter in foreign governments, our allies, people that are important to our survival as a nation. they're going to be seeing Hillary Clinton's half truths and seeing that she's a competent defender of national security strategy, okay, and perfectly capable of, and and most people don't like this, but you have to be able to dodge questions. You have to be able to do this in order to be the president of this country, okay? And if you think that that is wrong somehow, I'm sorry,
I'm not.
but that's the way the world is, okay? And all you got to do is get to know somebody like Vladimir Putin and understand that this guy has a team of people who sits there and analyzes every single politician who they don't already control. Okay? They sit there and analyze every different possible weakness that this country could have, every different possible weakness that people in this country could have. Okay? We need Bill Clintons. We need Hillary Clinton. We need Barack Obama, Joe Cool, just, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, that's what we need. If we have somebody who gets emotional and just wants to fucking spill the beans on everything, that's when we have no strategy. Okay? Anyway, so this intentional blurring of the line between protests and attack by the KGB and its subsidiaries is probably at least a century old. Okay. Now, the fact of the matter is, we used to understand. Like, I don't know if you knew pre-Cold War history, but we used to understand how this worked. Okay, this used to be pretty common knowledge among the Boy Scoutish types in this country. But this whole idea that the Cold War ended is where this whole thing had to be swept under the rug. Okay? And basically, not showing our hand right now is still kind of playing along with the idea that Putin is just a new resurgent Russia thing, okay, as opposed to the idea that the Cold War never ended. Okay, that's the difference between these two levels of understanding. The public understanding right now is that, oh, Putin just got bored and decided to take over the fucking world. The real understanding behind the scenes is the understanding that you get on this channel, which is that Putin was probably in power in a lot of areas behind the scenes before he ever took power officially. Okay? And the Cold War ending was literally just a tactic. Never happened. Hey, look, there's a wall coming down. Let's give the Islamic extremists more AK 47s. They did. Went from overt, you know, jet versus jet to subversive use of extremism.
Yeah, because the first Gulf War was immediately after the wall came down.
Right. And what we did there is extremely complicated. Because what had been going on for the past 10 years before that was the Soviet Union, Brezhnev had an initiative to be the best friends of all, and he wrote this, that all of the Islamic states, all of the Arabic Islamic states. And it seemed like we've basically been fighting a proxy war with the Soviet Union nonstop for the past 30 years. I mean, just about. We went from Afghanistan to Iraq to several different places in Africa to Europe with Yugoslavia. I mean, the Cold War didn't end. The Cold War turned into a hot war. And it's been going on nonstop, hasn't it? I mean, when the fuck have we not been at war in the past 30 years since the Cold War ended? And aren't the other team always holding fucking AK-47s? I'm just saying. Just fucking
Dingo.
saying, you know? Okay. They can't hear us. All right. So another thing that you can realize to tie in Islamic State with the new extremist KGB tactic or whatever you want to call it um, is this thing that I first noticed that kind of made me realize that the Cold War never ended was the well a big clue, okay, a big clue into the connection to the behaviors not only to each other but like historically was there's no reasonable expectation of quarter and quorum. Like they take prisoners, but selectively. Okay, and Islamic State was doing it. Everybody's heard about that, but what few people heard about what was going on in Ukraine. Okay, they would literally kill you if you had less than two children, if you were left-handed. What was the difference? Like they would take a bunch of prisoners and start interviewing them, and somebody who was left-handed would get shot. Somebody who didn't have any children was shot. Somebody who had children but their mother was alive, shot. And the way this all ties back into the propaganda and understanding what Hillary Clinton is hiding when she dodges these questions, okay, and how this is a national security issue. The reason why these guys, these were Kazakhs, okay, these are the Mongolized Slavic tribes, okay, they, some of them even call themselves a horde, all right, they're Kazakhs, Russian Kazakhs, kind of different from Ukrainian Kazakhs, but that's a really long story, okay. Well, these are the guys that wear the big furry hats, all right, and they're considered to be militia. And what you got to understand about just humanity in general is that shooting somebody who's left-handed is not a natural state of being. Okay, wanting to fucking destroy somebody's city is not a natural state of being. This takes every single time. Okay, these are not evil people who are firing these weapons. Okay, these are not evil people who are coming in there with a sick mentality. Okay, this is the result of propaganda. Okay, this is a result of dehumanization. Okay, the way we excuse firebombing the Germans and the Japanese, okay, was by dehumanizing them in propaganda. The way the Kremlin has excused the grad shelling, the destruction of entire villages in East Ukraine, is by dehumanizing the Nazis in Kiev. Okay. They've said that these people want to kill everybody who speaks Russian. Okay. So then the Russian speakers go, well, we have to fucking fight these people. They're evil. We got to go kill them. So then who's the fucking evil one? It's not the people who are out there taking no prisoners, because they were told that the Ukrainians were evil. For years, just propaganda like Fox News in Russian saying Ukrainians filled with Nazis who were killing Russians.
Yeah, not to mention too that in the military over there, you literally sign your life away. You have to do what they tell you, or they will freaking shoot you.
Yeah, everybody in Russia, everybody who's an of age male is in the military.
Yeah, you have to serve at least 1 or 2 years.
And anytime you are called back up for service, you have to get back in service.
I don't know about anymore, but it used to be that if you were an of age male, you had to do your service time before you were accepted into college.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's still the case.
As far as I know, that's still the case. Anybody from a Eastern European country or happen to be in Russia and seeing this?
I've been gone too long. Sorry.
Who isn't, RT Kremlin propaganda fucking crazy person. Please comment below and tell us whether or not 3 years service, was it? I thought it was 3 years service required to get to college if you're not, a well-to-do family in Russia. Somehow I don't see the kids of oligarchs going and serving.
Just like most of Congress's kids, Congress
Right,
doesn't want their
exactly.
kids going to war.
Yeah, you don't got a whole lot.
Which Michael Moore documentary was that?
Yeah. It's funny how they never mentioned Joe Biden.
Right.
Oh. God rest
his soul. He's not running.
That kind of upsets me.
That really upsets me.
And I guess it depends on how well everything simmers down for Hillary. Okay. I think she did well enough. Okay. But I guess I'm still kind of being hopeful that Joe Biden will get it. But he says right now it's too late. I can't do it. And one possible avenue is that he's just waiting for Hillary to embarrass herself. Very possible. Okay. It could possibly turn out that Hillary doesn't know what we know on this channel. It's possible, but it's possible. In which case, she would be completely full of shit and not protecting national security. That's possible. I don't think so. That being the case, sorry, I don't think that's. I really wish he would have run. I would have liked to see Joe Biden with Hillary Clinton as vice president, and then Joe Biden not run for a second term because he's old. But at this point, as far as wanting a better country for my children and everything, and security and whatnot, continuity of government is a very appealing thing to me. All right. That's assuming that we don't have a bunch of commies in there right now, which I don't think we have a bunch of commies in there right now. Because it seems to me that we have not given Putin what he wants. He wanted a lot more than he got. Let me just put it that way. He wanted a lot more than he got. He wanted a war, and we refused to give it to him. I really think he wanted the war. He wants this war. Still wants this war.
Yeah, because he wants to blame his falling economy on something other than himself.
Yeah. I think his ambitions are a little more sinister.
Oh, I'm sure they are, but it's got to be up there. Because Russia's economy is like.
Well, you're talking historically about the whole revenge for the Cold War thing, as far as their popular poverty and just the national chaos that broke out there in the early 90s. But yeah, lately their economy's been kind of in the shitter, and their prospects are actually being downgraded, and their projections are being downgraded by international uh, stock brokerages and banking firms.
Oh, I thought all the sanctions that we put on them was really
I watch a couple of little programs like Dukascopy, a Dutch and Swiss financial program that talks about international stuff like that. Well, Russia has had problems getting investors lately, not just their oil uh, prices affecting their governments and the sanctions and everything affecting the government, but recently, since the TPP, actually, investment has shifted to TPP member states and away from Russia. So, win for Obama right there, win for America right there. Oh, all right. Okay. Big news. I'm sure most people have heard if they, managed to get something else besides Benghazi out of the TV. Um, we raided or helped the Kurds raid a prison compound that Islamic State was operating in Syria and freed 70 captives. We went in there expecting 15 to 20 Iraqi National Guard, like the Iraqi security forces that we train and equip, okay, being held hostage, all right, and they were about to get executed. We had drone footage of mass graves that were already dug that morning, okay, or that the previous day, and they were all going to be executed at dawn in that morning, okay. And before dawn, we raided the compound. The Kurds went in. We helicoptered them in, okay, and they got bogged down. And then we had our guys go from the helicopters and go get them out, and everybody boarded the helicopters and left. And we lost one service member, first combat casualty in Iraq in almost 4 years. Um, the information still hasn't got out on the other people that we rescued, but a couple of them were actually jihadis who were doing time there for other things. We just kind of gave them to the Kurds and said, here, quote, they're your problem. But apparently, we freed some additional Kurdish people who were being held. The 15 and 20 was it Iraqi security forces? No, it was Kurdish security forces that we had trained with. Okay, so it was like the northern Iraqi security forces. Well, I'm very interested to see if we got any of the Yazidi captives that they were holding. Because that'd be very good. But regardless, and people die every day for a lot of stupid reasons. And soldiers get killed in accidents, in plane crashes, friendly fire training. This man died freeing 70 people. 70 people are going to go on their lives because he was brave enough and heroic enough to sacrifice himself. And I am really disappointed in the media for immediately just trying to find ways to use this as an attack. We immediately find ways to question Oh, does this fit with policy? And nobody's talking about camaraderie. Nobody's talking about heroic sacrifice. I mean, these guys, chances are they've probably known each other a while. You know, some of them probably knew each other for a while. Our special forces out there, they get interwoven with these groups and they advise them, and they teach them, you know, help order supplies and logistics when they can for them. And these guys need a rescue mission. They're going to execute 15 of our guys. And we say we're going to help. We go out there and shit goes to hell and they get pinned down. And our guys, brave American heroes, said, you know, not, oh, they're just Kurds or they're a foreign nation. They're not even a nation. They didn't make any kind of prejudicial judgment. They didn't think of them as any less than brothers. And they ran into the shit to pull them out of it. And that's what we've been doing. People who want to just get along with everyone and fight for the right to get along with everyone. That's who we help. That's the American way. And, done with my soapbox. So you want to talk about that Saints?
What was it was a freaking commercial that we saw on TV. What was it, like a GE commercial or something? It was like backup generators,
Oh
backup
yeah, yeah.
batteries.
The GE backup generators had the Saints backup quarterback McGowan. That is the name I wrote down. That I thought was the other guy's name that I wrote down with the pudding pops.
Not McGowan, McGowan.
McGowan. Magoon. I'm the backup quarterback for the Saints. My name is Magoon. Island.
He looked so sad talking about backups.
It was a backup generator commercial, and the guy was just kind of walking around in the woods and in like the wilderness and the mountains and stuff, just kind of looking, longing. Oh, I wish I could play too. I'm just a backup quarterback.
It was cute.
It's fucking awesome. I didn't even know who that guy was. I immediately felt bad for him. Like, oh, I'm sure he's a very talented guy. No fucking idea who he is.
That's because we have Drew Brees. Nobody's gonna know the backup quarterback with Drew Brees.
Right. Because he doesn't get hurt. Because he runs away. Oh, where's Reggie Bush? I need somebody to drop the ball. What?
Oh, hey, Reggie.
Oh, I miss making fun of Reggie Bush. Oh man, you're running the wrong way and fumble. Like you might as well just let him keep the ball. He was going the wrong way anyway. Yeah. All right. So. Oh wait. Well, the Blumenthal thing. Go back to Benghazi. Back to Benghazi. Okay. The Blumenthal thing. I found it funny. And it was Senator Gowdy. I had it written not on this page, on the back in a little section down here. Senator Gowdy, not McGowan, Gowdy. McGowdy Guha. Yeah. Said that And then 15 words later, has business interests in Libya. So on the one hand, he doesn't like him because he doesn't know anything about Libya. And then in the same fucking series of accusations, oh, he's got business interest in Libya. Well, how the fuck could he have business interest in Libya if he doesn't know anything about Libya? And on that bombshell, it's time to talk about Bobby Jindal.
Tomorrow's the election.
So, you want to explain the insurance thing?
Which is this one?
What is Bobby Jindal's latest scheme to plug his budget cuts?
Yes, okay, so the new budget
holes.
The budget holes that he's trying to plug. So get this, y'all non-Louisianians, and tell me how much better y'all have it than we do. 1.2 million people. There's 11 million or 1.2 right now?
1.2 million.
1.2 million people right now, this month, have received letters that the state that sometime in the last 20 years, their insurance has lapsed at some point, and they have to pay fines, or you're going to have your license revoked. 20 years.
See, I had a car that the plate went bad on in Texas. Okay. My first in Texas. And I paid that $795 before Katrina. And then after Katrina, I go and try to renew my license. And the state of Louisiana wants $1,500 from me for the same damn license plate.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see.
But they better not be sending me no letter because I know I paid that shit. But yeah, that was last week that they sent the letters out, and people have been complaining all week this week. So I guess I'm not getting a letter.
No, they're sending out another batch.
Oh, fuck that! I'm not getting a letter.
They're sending out another batch in November and then another one in December. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, be on the lookout. It's probably coming in the mail.
I have paid more ridiculous money than my cars are freaking worth. And stupid little fine every time I try to go get my license renewed.
I mean, we paid more for insurance.
Oh, did you know you happen to owe this for this and this and this? Oh? No? Fuck. Okay.
So yeah, good job, Bobby Jindal. You have just pissed off most everybody in Louisiana. And probably people out of Louisiana who have moved. I wonder if they're going to get them. Like people who have left the state who have had insurance lapses.
They're going to try.
Hey, anybody who's not living in Louisiana right now, if you've gotten a letter, let us know. Put in the comments. We're curious.
Yeah, it's bad enough Texas got me for, what was it, another $2,500 or some shit. Because if you get pulled over without insurance, okay, even if you go to court and prove that you had insurance at the time, there's this Texas surcharge thing, which is a private fucking corporation that gets to collect additional fees on top of your tickets, fines, and court costs.
And it can prevent you from renewing your license in another state.
My 93 Accord has cost me like 15 grand at this point.
Hey, I'm sorry, only $2,000 of that was my fault, okay? Damn it. Janet.
But apparently it's almost as fast as an S2000 around the Nürburgring. I've been playing with simulated car, blah blah blah. I'm not even talking about that. It's fucking boring. Never mind. What? Where am I? Who? Oh, hi everybody. Goodbye. Like and subscribe. I'm done. I forgot what I was saying. Out of stuff to talk about.
Because I gotta pee.
And the notes have ended. Is that fucking Chinese? I don't know. Goodbye.